Everybody, it's Doom here, and I'm back, and I'm working on my Leffy. So what I want to do with my Leffy, and you do whatever you want with yours, is I'm looking for this arbor green. It's super dark, and I'm gonna get the thing the super glue came in. I'm gonna squirt some arbor green in it. I'm gonna get a brush that's super wet, and it's gonna give me super good coverage. I can find one. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to get my brush super wet. I'm going to just kind of water this down, and I'm going to use it to paint, because this is foam, and as I was hoping, a lot of this melted when I sprayed it, and that was good, because I want the inner body part to look like chunky and bad. Where I super glued at and stuff, it kind of stuck nice, and where I didn't, it kind of melted in with the paint. And that's okay. And if there's some white in there, that's not going to hurt us. Just leave the white and don't sweat about that. So we just want to get all our leaves and our vines nice and dark green. We want to make sure we paint the outside of the Leffy. Let's talk about how a Leffy operates. Yeah, it drags itself along on the ground, and when it smells food, it stops. And as things get close to it, and it can smell them and taste them and feel their presence, its teeth and its inside of its mouth start to exude a very sweet odor, like almost of a rotting meat plus sugar. And they lure in creatures close enough to where they can consume enough calories to keep themselves sustained and pull themselves further along if they run out of food source where they're at. Now, unlike most plant creatures, the Leffy is semi-intelligent, because the Leffy was intentionally created. Nymphs trying to defend areas they were protectors of, groves or streams or special hilltops or trees or whatever it may be, that lost control of the situation, can pick certain plants that are sturdy weed type plants that can survive. It can take these plants and do something spectacular with them. It can turn them into the Leffy. Unfortunately, once bees and everybody else get a hold of Leffys and they pollinate with other creatures, there's a chance that whatever they've pollinated with can become a Leffy too. Just a chance. It's not a definite situation, but it can happen. Alright, let's set this up here. And let's dry this off and see what we look like. Okay, we gotta wait a minute. And while we're waiting, let's get some purple paint. I'm getting this one here called Alien Purple, because I can use this little dropper and see what I'm doing. I'm gonna squirt some of that down in there and make a little pool. Then I'm gonna get a drop of orange or red or whatever else I got here. Looks like I'm using Warlock Purple. I'm just going to put a little dab of that on both sides and let that kind of run down too. Alright, and this is going to be what's making that sweet smell. Oh, hold on, knocked a bag of bases down. Alright, there we go. Okay, now This is mostly dry, but what we want to do is we want to come back and we want to hit this base. And we want to do the base in brown because it's dirt, you know what I mean? So let's get our burnt umber. And paint this base. That brush isn't going to work. I need something smaller that I can see what I'm doing with. Here we go. Now, if there's any little wisps of glue on the base or any little weird things you don't like, you can just leave those green usually, and I don't think it'll hurt too much. I'm not going all the way up to the base of the plant with my brown, and you don't have to. You can if you wish to. So yeah, a nymph or maybe a dryad, some kind of fair folk has decided that they're losing a battle, and they have created this monster out of a strong weed type plant that's resilient. And then it has kind of served its purpose or not and wandered around, and it's bees have used it to pollinate something else, basically. It can pull itself along small distances. That does consume calories, of course, like I said. So keep in mind that this thing also has sentience. It's not like Omega intelligent, but it has sentience. It can identify bigger threats. For example, if something has an axe or a sword or a slashing weapon of some sort, it can recognize that and either prioritize that target if need be, or determine to hit a different target, because this thing is powered by calories. It does have photosynthesis like a normal plant, of course, but it also consumes for calories for immediate energy. And that makes it unique from most plants. Instead of just waiting for something to rot and eating it, it's actively hunting and setting traps. Well, when I say setting traps, it's the trap. Okay. All right, let's dry him off some and get a look at what we need to do next. I think we're about done here. I think what we're going to need to do is do some dry brushing on the leaves, on the edges of the leaves, and just add some different shades of green throughout on him. When you're messing with nature folk, sometimes you're going to cross lines that you don't want to cross. And that's just what you're going to do. And this guy is an example of how that can, or this girl, I mean, it's a plant, whatever. But this creature could be an example of what happens if you push too hard against nature. They go into a, I guess you'd call like a fey rage, and use forbidden dark things to get the results they want. Oh, look at that color there. Look at that. Just pop, pop, pop. All right. One more thing I'd like to do. I'm going to get my small brush back out. I'm going to get an off-white. the edges of those teeth. Just a little bit. Now, I'm not going to have to be able to clear coat this and use it immediately because I did pour that paint down inside, and that's going to have to dry before I clear coat it. But the goal is, from this point, I'm just going to clear coat it, and I'm going to put it on the table. So, crafting it took a little longer than I had to. There was a lot of messing around, and I hadn't really done anything just like this. And the painting took a little bit longer than it probably should have or could have. But in general, I'd say this was a decent project. It's definitely a good starter project if you're just trying to get some kind of monsters that your players haven't seen before. Because the big thing is you want to get stuff your players don't know from the book, so they can't metagame and use their rules lawyer knowledge to help them. So here's how the Leffy fights. It's almost imperceivable when you're using it as a ambush predator, and when it's not using it as an ambush predator, they'll smell it distinctly and follow the smell. To them, it'll smell like cooking food or like sweets or something. They'll follow the smell. It'll attack them. It'll grapple. It'll constrict. It'll crush bone and rib and legs and arms and weapons. It'll crush. Fire hurts it with double damage. Slashing hurts it with normal damage. Piercing and bludgeoning do 1/2 damage. It is completely immune to magic because of the disgusting ritual that the fairy the fae that created it had to do. Makes it immune to most magic except for fire magic. Now, lightning magic could do regular damage to it, I would say, and other magic half damage. I would say lightning does regular damage because the concept of lightning starting fires and stuff. You know what I mean? So, but in general, having a magic weapon doesn't give you a bonus on it, stuff like that. No, it's slashing and fire are the main things, you know. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I'd like to tell you how much I appreciate it. I really do. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, share it if you feel so compelled. Leave me a comment. There you go. And check out the website, that's not the website, www.dungeonswag.com. And it's the link in the description. We have some discount codes. Come join us on Discord. Play some RPGs with us. Play some video games with us. Paint with us. Sunday morning, we're going to have a live paint event at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're welcome to join our Discord. Thanks for watching.